Hello everybody, my name is Sasha and welcome to my channel. Why you even need to pass Toefl exam for what it is even working? It's an English exam which verifying your level of English. What I like the most about Toefl that they're not checking basically your grammar. You can lose maybe some points for grammar in the writing section, but mainly this exam is focused on just checking how good you can understand English, how good you understand reading, listening, speaking and writing like sections. I passed Toefl myself in January 2019. I gained 80 points. That's not enough for Finland and we will come back to this. So I will also share my methods, how now I'm working on improving my language skills. The exam itself taking 4 hours. That's insane. So there is 4 sections. First section is reading. In this section, you will need to read 4 articles and you will need to answer questions based on the articles you just read. That was the hardest part of Toefl. I understood that I can't concentrate on the text I'm reading, that I have really big problems with it. I started to think that I'm retarded or something. So that's why now I'm actually practicing a lot my reading skills. I bought a couple books, well, on my own taste. So I read The Man in the Black Suit, Stephen King. There is a couple sort of stories in English which is helping, your vocabulary to raise. Then I also bought, I like so much the movie Cloud Atlas. I didn't read it yet, but I'm planning to. I think I started. Yeah, look, that's embarrassing. I read just 16 pages and stopped, I think. Well, that's about my concentrating. The last book with which I'm going now, it's The Wuthering Heights. Inside the book is in English and they have vocabulary in the back here, English translated, to Russian. Also, they have some rules here, so while reading, is it focusing? Yeah. So while reading, I can still kind of check, what these phrases means. Well, it's very hard to read because while I read 2 chapters, I already underlined 32 words, which I didn't know myself. When you're reading, you can't just skip words. I mean, of course you sort of can, but then there is no point, of reading the book because then you will not learn anything. That's why that's also hard for me, that I always need to stop. I need to write down these words which I didn't know. I need to find translation for it. Of course it's easy that, there is these words in the end of the book, so I can just turn it and find, but still it takes some time and you can't, go along with the story. My method, how I even remember the words, because for me it's also hard. I think I'm getting old. I'm not 5 years old girl anymore who can remember anything. So that's why I need to use some extra app, which guys also I believe can help you. Anki app. I think I also found this app through some video blogger. She's Russian, but I think her friends even created this app. So that's really cool app. It's working same as with cards. You're just writing, the words from one part, from one side, and then the translation on another one. So, and you're just flipping. For example, they're showing to you word in English. Then if you press flip, and then you can estimate yourself how good you actually know some word, so that it was easy, it was just good, it was hard, or you failed. And if you're doing that honestly, that's pretty cool, because it's then also giving you these words in which you failed, again and again. So kinda that's a better a cool way to learn some words. I mean, I'm using this app before I'm going to sleep, when I just wake up, when I'm in the bus, when I'm in metro, so it's always with you, and that's what helping me to learn new words. So not to get too fast tired and get sick of learning the language, to receive some positive vibes from it. I'm doing that way. So first evening, in the first day, I'm reading the book before I'm going to sleep, a couple chapters. Well, of course, while reading, I'm putting, new words in my notes, in the phone, so I'm just writing them down there with translation. Then I'm putting these words. I can do that in the same day if I'm not too tired. Like I'm putting it to this app, like Anki app. Or if I'm too tired, I'm doing that in the next morning, like while breakfast. I'm just like typing it there. So then whole next day, I'm like repeating these words with this Anki app. Usually for me, it's not enough to repeat just one day, because after first day, especially if there is like lots of words, like 30, let's say, I can't remember them all. So, and I believe that if I will then try to learn some like additional words, that my brain will just explode it. That's why then I'm giving 2 days for myself to learn these words. And if I'm not too lazy, then in the end of the second day, I'm trying to read again these chapters from which I took these words, you know, kind of already without checking them in vocabulary, because I supposed to know them by that time. So after I did this, like after these 2 days of learning, like in the third day, I started all over again. So I'm continue reading the book and like learning some new words. That's about reading section. I got a book from my friend. It's very cool. Thank you so much for it if you're watching this video. It's Cracking the Toefl. Well, it's 2017 edition, but I think they're sort of like almost same. What I personally don't like in this book, that there is so much water. People paying so much money for this book. Well, here it says that it costs 35 like dollars, American dollars, and I think that's a lot. Of course, it's cool that there is also kind of a disc, like so you can listen, like do also listening section here. But the main stuff which in this book they are putting, you know, the main idea, which you can also watch in some other like YouTubers video, that when you're reading like in Toefl, you know, these passages, that you need to read like first 1 or 2 sentences of each passage, and then you need to read also 2 last sentences over the last last article, kind of the conclusion lines. By the way, how you can practice, I'm doing my practicing with I think it calls, I will leave the name here and also the link in the description so you can check. I think this channel calls Study with Daniel or something, or Prepare or Toefl with Daniel or whatever. Why I like this YouTube channel, because their interface of these like, you know, videos, like of these tests, it's same as in Toefl. And I didn't know that before. So when I started to prepare for Toefl, and well, shame on me, I prepared just for 1 week. That's why I think my result wasn't that good. And when I arrived in the exam, I was like, oh, I did that, you know, like same kind of stuff with Daniel, like in YouTube. So, and that was cool. And the coolest part, that he's also kind of separating, you know, kind of the time. So because you guys will have actually just maybe 1 minute per one question, and that's not enough. I mean, my problem while I was like passing Toefl, that I didn't have enough time to answer. So I remember that in the last 10 questions, I just clicked randomly because I had just 30 seconds to finish my test, and I was like, well, I can't leave them without any answer. So I just clicked randomly, and maybe that's where I also lost my point. You actually don't have time to read all the passage. I mean, you need to catch, you know, the main idea kinda from the first sentences of each paragraph, and also you need to learn how to read, you know, just kind of in diagonal. So when you see some question, like you need to understand where to look at it. What's also kind of cool and not confusing maybe in Toefl test, that for example, if you have first question, then definitely you need to find an answer in the first passage. Then, like for example, second question is also going to be probably there. Then, for example, they will ask you to find some, like replace some words from the second paragraph. Then it means that you already kind of, you know, the rest of the questions after it would be in the second paragraph, or then you will need slowly, you know, to go down to the third, to the fourth. So kind of it's going, you know, one by one. It can be that you will get first question and you will need to look for an answer in the last paragraph. So with listening, how you can help yourself, For example, I'm listening some English podcasts, like I can maybe also leave the name here. For example, today in the morning I listened some BBC like channel. There were some situation on the work, like women try to solve some problem. Also, I'm trying to watch as much as I can some TV shows, TV serials just in English, and of course I'm trying to practice like, you know, my speaking also, and listening with the foreigners. So that's why I'm always like happy to communicate with some foreign people in the St. Petersburg, and luckily, like lately, I was very like successful in finding them here. So, and then the last section, it's the writing section, and well, that's there you just will have two tasks. One task, I think you will need to also analyze some texts. I think I had like text about dinosaurs and their necks. So kind of there were dinosaurs who had like very long neck. Yeah, and the second text, it was about some leadership, that students need to pick like leader of their community, and what qualities leaders should have, you know, kind of to be a cool leader. So, and you actually also need in this section, like to give your personal examples. So if you will not put any examples, then this text they will not just you know, accept. Kind of you will have very low points. That was hard. I mean, I also was running out of time, and I needed to, you know, kind of finish it properly, and that's why I just like made up some story about that. I had some situation in the camp where we needed to pick a leader, and then this leader was using his, you know, power like against like everybody else, and he became very arrogant and stuff, you know, just like some crap like that, but it worked. So of course, like Toefl, you know, creators, they're saying that you shouldn't lie, of course, but I think nobody cares about if you're lying or not, if you can, you know, explain your point. Well, it's the exam. I mean, it's not real life. Of course, in real life, you will just say that, well, I'm sorry, it didn't happen to me, and that's why I don't relate to this situation, and for other person that would be fine, yeah? But like in this exam, they want from you some examples, and well, what if it didn't happen in your life before? So, well, then you need to make it up, you know, that it actually happened. Yeah, there was this situation, or my friend told me the story in which, and blah 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 blah. So, or I saw in the movie that, you know, there was this situation, and then the hero did that, and blah 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 blah. So you really need to be creative, and you know, to kind of think super quick, like what example you can give. As I said, that to study in Finland, or for example, I will also make a video how to study in Sweden and Norway, because that's the countries I'm also going to apply to study in master degree. So in case of, you know, being able to apply for them, you need to have at least 95 points. So the next cool way how to practice, for example, your writing, it's just to write. I mean, I started to write about everything I see, like about my thoughts and stuff. Also, lots of people recommending the source, which calls Coursera. Here is the name, and also I will leave the link in the description. It's the website in which you can take different courses, like depends on your own preferences. And the question which probably bothers everybody, that the Toefl, it's quite expensive to pass. And first time when I passed it myself, I passed it for free because, well, I participated in some program with which you can go to study in America, and like this program, they were paying for passing these tests. You for sure have some sort of programs like that, and you should just like really check yourself on them, because I also didn't know that we actually have this program, and I didn't know that you can pass Toefl through this program. You should like look really for some programs which is connecting with America, because American universities usually require Toefl tests. So, and when you will check these programs, check that they will also like kind of write that they will support all of your, you know, application process, because now I also found there is some different program, I think it calls Opportunity Fund or something, with which I can again then pass TOEFL if I will finish now this program. So in this program now I need to watch dozens of presentations, I need to do some tests, like kind of on understanding that I got the main idea, of how to apply to study in America and stuff, so they just focused on that. And then if like everything is fine, if I will get through all of the material and they will consider me as a cool candidate which they want to support and want to help to study in America, then they will like help me and pay for my TOEFL exam. That's just the way how you can try to pass this test for free. If you already graduated from bachelor, that there is a program which calls Fulbright. It's working for all countries, so they're helping people from all different countries to go to study to America. So, and they also paying for your TOEFL, exam that you will pass it. So you should check it out, like this program, Fulbright program, because of course also in a way to be able to participate in this program and kind of have a possibility to pass TOEFL, you will need firstly to send to them motivation letter why you want to be a part of this Fulbright program. Well, you need to write that you want to study in America, and your personal kind of achievements, what you have done in your sphere, why you would be pleasant for the American universities. Also, I think you will need to have a couple letters of recommendation, like from your professors or maybe from the place you're working, like from your boss. You can check these requirements also in this Fulbright website. I can also leave the link like down here. If you like this video, please subscribe. It's very important for me, and it feels so nice when I see that I got some more viewers and that you support actually what I'm doing. So thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next videos. Bye.